Palpatine was the Chancellor of the Galactic Republic and led his people through a time of great conflict with the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Little did anyone know he was truly the mastermind behind the war in order to seize power over the galaxy for himself. However, whilst acting as Chancellor, he was little more than a servant of the people. So this does beckon the question, what would happen if Sidious was impeached whilst he was Chancellor? Now, for this theory, we're going to be saying that Sidious is removed from power for a reason outside his grand plan. The Jedi, nor the Republic, nor anyone know anything about his status as a Sith Lord or his master plan. Instead, we're going to say he's impeached as Chancellor following the events of the Zillo Beast attack on Coruscant. We're going to say, following the attack that left countless dead and the Republic capital burning, the Senate loses faith in Sidious's ability to rule and orders his impeachment. Now, definitions of impeachment vary, however we're going to say, due to his actions of having the Zillo Beast moved to Coruscant, the Republic demands that he is immediately removed from power, and an emergency vote will take place to find his successor. So what happens? Well, we're going to say that this emergency vote happens in the space of hours after the Zillo Beast's death. Now, Sidious could potentially just execute Order 66 before he's officially removed from power, however this wouldn't succeed. It's too early on in the war and there's not enough clones. The CIS is still very powerful, and no world would agree to follow him after such a blatant power grab. So he kind of just has to accept his fate and hand over power to his successor. But how is he going to take power back? Well, he still controls half of this war due to his proxy Dooku, and at this point it's his greatest strength. Now, potentially he could just push for a CIS victory, however realistically he needs to get back in the position as Chancellor to regain control over the clone army so he can execute Order 66, as they're his best hope of ever destroying the Jedi. Also, a separatist victory wouldn't help him because it would just fracture the galaxy that he's trying to control. So we're going to say that Sidious is going to begin an indirect campaign of terror. The CIS will be ordered to escalate its war effort, becoming far more merciless than ever before. It's likely Grievous would be given far more jurisdiction, and the CIS would begin attacking major civilian worlds with limited strategic resources, prioritising heavy casualties above all else. The reason for this is to create fear and make it impossible for any new Chancellor to gain a good reputation. Meanwhile, Sidious would send agents to Coruscant and other worlds to kill off political rivals he had, ensuring that his most fierce adversaries would not live to deny his restoration to power. Now, whilst the CIS is waging a bloodier war than ever before and senators were dropping like flies, Sidious would also likely begin inflaming passions of crime syndicates. By doing this, it would allow him to create further crises for the Republic. For example, start a spice epidemic on Coruscant, or have pirates attack relief supplies destined for war-struck worlds. Ultimately, Sidious's main goal is to create a crisis that no Chancellor can realistically deal with. From here, he'd likely begin informally rebuilding his base, trying to capture the hearts and minds of the people of the Republic yet again. He would begin advising pro-war senators, who were always his main demographic. This is important as he needs these people's votes to get anywhere. These pro-war senators would likely continue to vote out most of Palpatine's replacements as they begin to believe that Palpatine is their best chance for ever winning the war with the CIS. Ultimately, we're going to say that despite Palpatine's pretty massive mistake regarding the Zillo Beast, he was still by far the best chance the Republic had. And with the Republic now on the brink from Sidious's efforts, he should be brought back into power. So we're going to say that Sidious is allowed to run for Chancellor again, and with the CIS closing in, the criminals making a mockery of the Republic, not to mention senators fearing for their own personal safety, I believe Sidious would win. He would be reinstated to power. He would then slowly order Dooku to begin faltering his offensive to make Sidious look good in front of the Senate and give them the results they wanted, making it look like he really is the only person capable of saving them. This would also allow Sidious to rationalise the construction of far more clones and gain more emergency powers for himself. However, there is an issue with all this. The Jedi and other groups would definitely find this curious at the end of the day. The CIS begins stepping up their war effort right after Sidious was impeached, and now they've stopped once he's been reinstated. For this reason, I believe the Jedi would be far less trusting of Palpatine, and would probably even begin retracting themselves from the war, which was now far more gruesome than it had ever been in our timeline. For this reason, when the time came and Sidious did choose to end the war, he would find it very difficult to turn Anakin, who would have had far less contact with Palpatine. He would also struggle to wipe out the Jedi, as they would likely have created contingencies in case this ever happened due to the mistrust they now had of Palpatine. Despite this, Sidious may find it easier to take power, as the war was so horrific the people would be incredibly grateful for him saving them. They'd also be quite afraid to not follow his leadership at this point. So it's a very mixed bag of pros and cons. But let me know what you guys think. Would Sidious be reinstated to power? What would he do? And what further effects do you guys see happening from his impeachment as Chancellor? Let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to check out the new U vs series, where we put you up against some of the deadliest forces in the Star Wars universe. So far, we've had a B2 battle droid and the deadly Kaleesh General Grievous. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share and sub, as it's really appreciated and it helps the channel grow. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at TheLoreGuy and tick the bell for regular updates. Thanks again for watching. I really do hope that you did enjoy, and I'll see you next time.